Dick Nabbit, I thought I'd be quick enough to get this shared out. Welcome to Look Around the Confederation. I'm your host for the evening, Moose. And before we get started, please remember, the views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are not necessarily the views and opinions of the SCV, its GC, Northern Division Brigade camps, or any other subsidiaries, strictly those expressing them. How is everybody doing in Dixieland tonight? We have a great show for you planned. Well, we have Army of Tennessee Commander candidate James Patterson on to talk about his platform for Army of Tennessee Commander. So I am expecting a good show. We do have a bit of news to get through before we get into that. Turn up my microphone. Well, last week you nearly sent me to our Lord and Savior with when you turned on the intro music. Nearly fell out of my chair and broke my neck. Now I'm trying to straighten my mic up because of you. Yes. Moose has gone corporate. Moose has cut his hair. There is no longer a flowing mane behind my head. It is strictly just some short business hair. It was not my choice to cut it. I am starting a new business, and sacrifices had to be made. The first one on that list was my hair, sadly. So, yeah, here we are. Short hair. Yay. I have not had short hair since high school. And it feels weird. Let me tell you something. I could not explain to you how weird it feels. Oh, gosh, the automatic thumbnail for this episode. All right. Well, the episode is now shared out to everybody. I will say you do get shocked when you've had hair covering up your forehead with just how far your hairlines move back. My gosh, man, that I have never felt in my late 20s until this year, and my hairline moved all the way back. I have it brushed down for a reason, but I'm still exposing a lot more forehead than I'm used to. So you're going to be patient with me. Hopefully I didn't jack up my beard line along with it, because that would just really make the week at this point. But it is good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. We got GCB in the chat, making my life interesting as always. Donald Gaines, good to see you. Derek Glover from Tennessee. Dr. Sandy Mitchum is in the chat. And he has an announcement. He wanted to let everybody know that he is out of the hospital and feeling fine, and that is some great news, brother. Always good to hear some great news about Dr. Mitchum, and good to have him back in the chat. Jason Lloyd, good to see you. I didn't see that. David Pope out of Camp 87 in Knoxville, Tennessee. Good to see you. Ryan McDonald from Camp 2327 out of Missouri, which, if I'm not mistaken, had y'all's division reunion is this week, right? I could be mistaken, but it is in Carthage, if I'm not mistaken. But, we all know my memory. Ryan from Camp 176 out of Tennessee, good to see you. And Johnny from Camp 632 out of Missouri as well. Got Ryan from Virginia in the chat. You're starting to look like the Bushwhackers. That's not a compliment. Are you talking about the wrestling Bushwhackers? That's hurtful if you did. Ah, yes, Ryan, it was this weekend. Or it's this weekend. Good to hear. Good to hear. All right. Well, speaking of that, we'll go ahead and jump into the news. Uh, and our first bit of news is the Missouri Division reunion in Carthage, Missouri. The theme of this year's Surrender is Not an Option. It, of course, is this weekend. And it looks like, look at all that featuring. It is stacked pack in Missouri. And again, I can't convince everybody enough that you need to go to your division reunions, but it's also good to go see other campuses division or other division reunions. Get a lot of fresh ideas that way. I am actually signed up for my first out of state reunion. I'm excited to attend it. I can't wait to go. It is just by luck that I'm able to go. And my poor father let us all say prayer for his wallet because I was like, that you? Let's all feel bad for that poor guy. Past Commander in Chief, the legend, the most sharp dressed man in the SCV, Paul Gremlin. Next up, of course, is the Army of Trans-Mississippi Field Day. Will be April 18th. This year's event will be returning to Mansfield Battle Park in Mansfield, Louisiana. This year's program will focus on the role of troops from Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, as well as troops in the Red River Campaign. So plan a day to spend celebrating your honorable history and heritage. There will be speakers, food, fellowship, games, music. So be sure to check that out. Okay, Jay. I'm gonna have to look it up. The bushwhacker from Tennessee or from Missouri. I will have to check that out after the show. Al, good to see you from Camp 115 out of Tennessee. Next bit of news is, of course, the Tennessee Division reunion, which will be April 17th through the 18th in Morristown Landing in Morristown, Tennessee. Of course, as I said, it will be April 17th through the 18th. Registration is $65 per attendee, $75 March 1st through the 15th. Registration includes Friday evening social, Saturday box lunch, Saturday evening awards banquet, reunion pin, and a goodie bag. Registration ends March 15th at midnight due to catering and capacity needs. There will be no on-site registration or late registration accepted. Must be postmarked by March 15th. Let's see here. Yeah, I have been told I either look like, or I used to look like Judah P. Benjamin, or a young Robert E. Lee with how my comb over here, I comb my hair to the right, it always curled up, like that one young R.E. Lee painting. Yes. I had to double check my watch and see what date it was. The 2026 National Chaplains Conference will be hosted by Chaplain Chief Dr. Tom Hitter. It will be on March 28th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at historic Elm Springs. Who can attend? Any SCV camp, brigade, division, or army chaplain, or a commander. Cost is $25 per attendee. You will be given the chaplain's handbook and lunch on site. Please send attendee name and contact below with a fee to Eric Pravetti. So make sure to register that for as quickly as possible. Next bit of news, we're going to be going down up to Georgia for the 23rd annual National Confederate Memorial Day service. It will be held at Memorial Plaza in front of the carvings at Stone Mountain Confederate Memorial Park on Saturday, April 25th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The keynote speaker is Pastor John Weaver. This is sponsored by the Georgia Division, Sons of Confederate Veterans. Make sure to attend that event. I want to go every year, but y'all hosted the same day as the division reunion down to Beauvoir, and I'm part of the events committee for that, so I have to be there. But one day I will make it to Stone Mountain because it is a beautiful sight. I've been there just once. It was gorgeous. I cannot thank Georgia enough for all they're doing. Next bit of news takes us to Arkansas for the 2026 division reunion. It will be Friday evening, April 24th and April 25th at Bismarck. I bet you're surprised I got that right, Arkansas. Let's see here. Registration form. Let's see here. I do not see a due date. So make sure to get this in as soon as possible. Yes, room reservations must be made before March 25th to get the group rate. So there is an important bit of information for you. For more well, you're crap out of luck. I just realized it was the 26th. That's tragic. For more information and forms, please call or email and call Mr. Johnny Harris, and you can see his phone number and email below. Next bit of news is about another National Confederate Memorial Day service, the Pilgrimage and Confederate Memorial Service held at the Southern Heritage Center, Historic Elm Springs, and the National Confederate Museum, also known as SCV headquarters, May 2nd. Grounds will open at 9 a.m. Grounds will close at 4 p.m. 11 a.m. Will be the Confederate Memorial Day service. The master of ceremonies is our Commander-in-Chief, Walter D. Donnie Kennedy. Music will be by strings of succession. Individuals, camps, brigades, divisions, and other organizations are encouraged to bring a floral tribute and be announced as they lay their floral arrangements. Please note, the weather in southern Middle Tennessee can be unpredictable, kind of like the rest of the South, sadly. It could be sunny and hot. It could be rainy and cold. You could need a jacket. You could need sunblock. You could somehow need both, so please dress appropriately. The service will be moved inside. If the weather gets bad enough, please bring a lawn chair and refreshments. And remember, no alcohol is allowed. And of course, it is going to be a great event because I have seen and heard our keynote speaker before. She is a member of the United Daughters of the Confederacy. She is phenomenal, so you don't want to miss that. Our last event to talk about for the evening is Southern Heritage Day in Missouri. Will be Saturday, April 18th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reenactors, historical flag displays, period crafts and skills, demonstrations, exhibits, books, and DVDs. General admission is $5. This includes a dance, not the barbecue. It is free to students, homeschoolers, and children under 13. It will be from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. will be the barbecue, followed by a period dance. Limited number available for this part of the event, and it is $20 a person. Please contact the people below. All right. Yes, yeah, I'm definitely jealous of you, Derek. Every year it almost falls on the same exact day as the Mississippi Division Confederate Memorial Day service. I know that it will align one year for me to go. The question will be, am I still broke at that time and can I afford it? That's the key to traveling in the SCV. All right. Greetings, Mr. Robert and Sean McFall, the Florida man out of Florida, and look around Florida. But let's jump into some of the news. We're going to go into Kentucky now and talk about the fact that the Kentucky Division hosted an open house along with the OCR recently in Benton, Kentucky. 2 new OCR chapters are scheduled to open soon. That is a remarkable thing. We're growing in Kentucky, and that is just beautiful, isn't it? My camp is actually starting an OCR chapter, so if you are in southern Mississippi, hey, let me know. All right. Next bit of news is actually going to take us to Texas. As the W.W. Hartsteel Camp 314 in Marshall, Texas, has erected a mini Confederate heritage billboard. And I'm going to take away this just for a second so you can see it a bit better. The location is owned by camp member Mr. Keith. The campus made the sign locally for about $700 and installed it themselves. The sign is located in the center of Marshall on the Mail North-South roadway. It is 8 blocks south of the historic courthouse and 3 blocks north of our hospital, so it will be busy. The camp will also have, again, a large commercial billboard on U.S. Highway 49. The contract has been signed and paid for April 16th, and it is 9 feet by 35 feet billboard. So let me put this back up here for them. And here's a picture of the camp there. And I just want to say, I always have to brag on the W.W. Hartsteel camp because they're always doing great work. I love the gentlemen out of that camp. Y'all are phenomenal. I always love talking to y'all at National Reunion, and I'm looking forward to it again. But, I mean, it's one of those things that you should have thought about, but I was so shocked. I was like, man, that's something my camp can do. That's an awesome idea. Oh, a year. I mean, look at that. Honor your Confederate heritage. www.heartsteel.org, Sons of Confederate Veterans. That is getting the message out, gentlemen and ladies. That's the main goal. So I love seeing y'all doing that. Thank y'all again for sending that in to let me see it. Phenomenal, phenomenal work. You sent me a picture in a comment section of your new hairdo. Yeah, I saw that SCV Chat posted a picture of my haircut progress. Even the picture that I showed people in confidence, and I was like, look, I look like Robert E. Lee. I was so happy. And then the before and after of my haircut was also shown in confidence. And both of those came up on the SCV Chat Facebook with underneath it, look how they massacred my boy from The Godfather. So I cannot thank this wonderful team we have here enough for that. I can't thank them enough. It's never dull working here. I wish we got paid for it because this is how we get our earnings. We take it out on each other. But next up, we are going to Virginia. And they also have this wonderful billboard. And this is the Hanover Dragoons SCV Camp 827. They will be wrapping up our news for the day. This is, of course, a beautiful billboard. And this is something I like about it. Hanover's native son, Brigade General W.C. Witcham. What I like about that one is for division-wide projects, for national-wide projects, you're going to go with someone big, like a Robert E. Lee, like a General Forrest, like a Stonewall Jackson. And, of course, if you're in Virginia, well, they are native of Virginia, so you should. But, Forrest is Tennessean, basically. The Tennessee division claimed him quickly. Am I right, James? Yeah. I had to mess with James behind the scene. But what I like about this is they're talking about a native from that town. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's another way to get people interested because that is someone that is a hero from their hometown that they need to know more about. So I want to congratulate that camp. Camp 827, Hanover Dragoons Camp. Again, great stuff. Well, Commander, my hair is you couldn't tell really how long it was in those pictures because my hair naturally curls, but the curls ended right here, so I'm scared. But I will say, compared to Paul Gramlin, our past Commander-in-Chief, my hair was short. But in my defense, Commander, you also rock it a lot better than me. I still crave in all my body to have these suits similar to Paul's. Phenomenal. He reminds me of, and this sounds bad, but this is a compliment. Commander Granville reminds me of my great grandfather because he always he wore these very business-like suits when he was mayor of my hometown and when he was highway commissioner here in Mississippi. And then when he got out of office, it's like something flipped, and he wore these very flashy suits, and he loved it. And every time I see Paul, I can't help but think of my great grandfather. Him and Dad joined the SCV together. I'm a fourth generation SCV member because of that, man. He was hilarious. He wore a peach jacket to my aunt's recital, which horrified my aunt. It shook her to her core. But we are about to wrap up the news section of this episode because we have a speaker tonight, and I'm sure he's eager to get on and talk about everything. So we're going to do a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to have past Tennessee Division Commander James Patterson on to talk about his platform for Army of Tennessee Commander. So with that, let us pay the bills and talk about our sponsors. Of course, our first sponsor is Dr. Chris Cummins, MD, out of Oxford, Mississippi. Have you fallen off a fence? Have you tweaked your knee? Have you stabbed a stick in your eye somehow? Well, go check out Dr. Chris Cummins out of Oxford, Mississippi. He'll make you feel good and treat you with some great Southern hospitality, get you well to the point where you're going to want to skip that apple so you can go see the doctor. So go check out Dr. Chris Cummins. And, of course, also check out, oh, that came in blurry. I'll have to fix that. 31st Regiment Engraving, www.31strengraving.com. They have beautiful merchandise. You can't really see it there, but I'll show you with my memorial bracelet to my ancestor, Private S.O. Dawes. Whenever I'm having a tough day, and let's just say I'm having some challenging days sometimes in the SCV, I look down here and I remember why I'm involved, why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to honor him and all the great heroes like him. So make sure you get yours today. I never go anywhere without it. It was actually sitting on my desk before I started the show, and I wear this every day now. It is great, durable, perfect for you. Next up, you should check out Beauregard's Tailor, a family business that is proudly offering authentic war between the states productions, t-shirts, flags, label pins, and so much more. Crafted with exceptional research and unmatched quality. Go check them out at beauregardstailor.shop. You can see, of course, the lovely t-shirt down there, the 44th Mississippi flag, and, of course, the wonderful reenacting gear there. Of course, if you're wanting to look great, if you're wanting to get some great t-shirts, some great flags, my father is a collector of Confederate flags. You can see a couple of them are still behind me from the Front Flung with Flags episode. We got the majority of ours from Beauregard's Tailor because we know they're historically accurate and made to perfection. So go check them out. Next up, go check out the museum at Market Hall, home of the Confederate Museum since 1899 in Charlotte, South Carolina. They are open Thursday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. But remember, if the flag is out, we are open. They have some remarkable stuff in there. And, of course, they are one of our big sponsors coming in to be on the show in April. So make sure to check them out and check out that episode coming up because they are going to be talking about some of their great collections in that museum. But we have paid the bills. We have talked about our sponsors. And remember, if you want to join this elite group, all you have to do is go over to Patreon, SCV Chat. For $2.50 a month, you can feed a moose. That's general support. If you want to get more behind-the-scenes content, your name at the end of every SCV Chat produced episode, go check out the $10 Real Chat Head tier. For $30 a month, you can get a merch tier where you get merchandise that me and Connor, not even the owners of SCV Chat, are being able to get. So make sure to check that out. And, of course, for $8 a month, you can join our sponsors. And we will be right back with past Tennessee Division Commander James Patterson on to talk about his platform for Army of Tennessee Commander right after this commercial break.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Welcome back to the show. And of course, now we have on Mr. James Patterson, past Tennessee Division Commander, and of course, candidate for AOT Commander. Mr. James, how are you doing on this fine southern evening?
I'm doing great. I like your haircut. You know, I sent you a picture earlier of me when I may have been about your age and I had the long hair going on. And this is what you got to look forward to right here.
Well, see, and please know, Mr. James, this is not a slight. I would rather me and you join the high hair mark club than end up like my father, who has none.
Yeah.
Because my father, I don't know, you got a good head of hair. My father, and I've been saying it for years, I would rather go white by 30 than be bald. I would rather dye my hair for the next 20 years, all that, before losing my hair. And my father lost his hair in his early 20s, like right after I was born, so he blames me for it. But I made it past my early 20s, made it to my mid 20s, I made it to my late 20s, and I'd been growing my hair out for a couple years. Kind of, I never got to enjoy long hair. And I always liked myself. I thought it made me look younger. I enjoyed it. Of course, I thought I looked like Robert E. Lee after a couple people said it. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm keeping this hair. And then, of course, when this year started, I started setting up the work to open up a new business. And I think every single person came up to me and was like, you need to cut your hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess I'll bite the bullet. And I haven't had it this short since high school. And as I said, she cut it and she pulled the hair back. Whoo! I don't know the last time my ego was hurt that much. I don't. I'd like to think I don't have an ego, but man, I was humbled that day. Wednesday at 11:50. I was hurting. I almost didn't want to pay her. She rolled it back, and I had no idea how far my hairline was back. But, nope, this is the new moose. I have to comb it. I can't put it up in a hat for a couple days because I have had long hair so long it's curling up. So I might look like Hugh Jackman in the Wolverine movies. Who knows? I don't think I'd pull that off well either. Carl wants to let everybody know bald is beautiful. Of course, the lovely Carl Jones, Army of Tennessee Commander, in the chat. I don't know. Y'all can pull it off is my thing. I've seen Carl and Dad, and they pull off bald. But what y'all don't know is I shaved my hair off in middle school. I know what I look like. I'm not reliving that again. No, I'll find a glue-on wig before I do that. But of course, we have Mr. James on. So if you're ready,
I'm ready.
we'll jump right in because you have a very interesting platform I'd love us to dive into. I'm very excited to hear more about it. Of course, first off, though, tell us a bit about yourself and, of course, your SCV career so far.
Okay, I joined the SCV in 1991. I'll be a 35-year member coming up here in June. I actually saw an ad, and I think it was Civil War Times. It was a little 1-inch column ad, and sent my stuff in and became a member. Within about a year, I became camp adjutant, and I was the adjutant of Murfreesboro Camp 33 for about 30 years. May have been the longest serving camp adjutant ever. I don't know, because that's a job most people don't want. But during the time I was adjutant, I started working my way up through the division. I was McLemore's brigade commander, became second lieutenant commander, first lieutenant commander. Before I became division commander, I jumped in. I was AOT Councilman for one term, 2014 to 2016, and then went back in 2016 to 2020. I was Tennessee Division Commander, and of course, I stayed on the DEC for 4 years while Joey was commander as the most recent past commander. And then when John became division commander, I thought I was going to get a little break, and he asked me to be his chief of staff. So I've been his chief of staff for the last 2 years in April, and I'm going to roll off the DEC so I would have time to devote to the GEC. It's easy to get overloaded. Sometimes it's hard to say no, especially when we know that there's nobody else that wants to jump in and volunteer and fill a position. And there's opportunities outside of our organization where a lot of times you just got to go ahead and jump in because that way we have a voice in it. When we moved back to Fayetteville about 5 years ago, I joined the John R. Massey camp and got on the Lincoln County Museum board. And now I'm president of the Lincoln County Museum. That happened last week. So we've got our foot in the door. We've got a nice Confederate display up in the museum now. And when you got an opportunity, you got to jump on it.
I couldn't agree more, Commander. And yes, sounds like you've had a packed SCV career.
Yeah, and hosted a couple of Tennessee Division reunions, and I was the chairman. And then in 2012, probably the high point of my whole SCV career so far was chairing the 2012 SCV National Reunion in Murfreesboro. That was during the sesquicentennial. It was the 150th anniversary, exact day on the weekend of his raid on Murfreesboro. We got to have a barbecue on the grounds of Oakland's mansion where Forrest accepted the surrender of Murfreesboro. And this lovely bust of the general right here, that everybody gave that to me as a gift from the reunion committee for all of what we did, and for me being the chairman of that reunion. And Forrest has always had a big place in my heart. The Murfreesboro raid is one of the greatest events of the war that maybe a lot of people don't know about.
I will agree with that. And first off, thank you, because I'm on a national reunion committee now. I didn't volunteer. You might have. I was just kind of like told to be on it.
Oh, you couldn't tell your dad no.
He phrased it as an order from the division commander.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, thanks, Dad. I'm going to remember this one day. And the funny thing is I was like, you do know our campus hosting the division reunion a month later.
Oh, wow.
Or a month before. He's like, yeah, you'll be all right. So that is a slam-packed career. But, let's talk more about what motivated you to run for Army of Tennessee Commander.
I had wanted to run, and then being, like I said, the past division commander, I had to stay on the DEC, and I really didn't have time. Carl's a strong candidate, and he's hard to run up against. Tom Wood, was jumped in the race here, maybe the last election. And when I heard that Carl had decided he wasn't going to run, I retired about 5 years ago. So I'm retired now, and I've got more time to devote to the office and rolling off the DEC. That's going to free me up a whole bunch of time to do some of the things that I like to see get done within the Army of Tennessee.
Well, that sounds awesome. Next question would be, how would you envision your role contributing to the overall mission and goals of the Sons of Confederate Veterans?
Okay, my focus is going to be working with the division commanders within the Army and try to see what their goals are, work with the AOT Councilman, see what his goals are, and pretty mesh all that together and try to work with everybody looking toward the same common goal and, supporting each other along the way. That's how we're going to get the job done and try to help this organization grow.
Well, I love to hear it. And this is kind of what I've been looking forward to. I think me and you are about to take up a good portion of this episode with what are your plans? Can you share some specific initiatives and changes you would like to implement if elected to the GEC?
Yeah. One thing that I want to look at is developing a permanent board for the Nathan Bedford Forrest Home. We've got Gene Andrews over there he's up in his 80s. He may live to be 150. I don't know, but we need to have a comprehensive long-term plan for that site. We have our one big event each year, and I think if we had a committee set up that was continual, it would help us to do a lot of things with the site, make some decisions. Maybe if the site could be put in a trust with the Tennessee division kind of being over it, still having oversight from national, it really helped the site and help be able to create some events and make the site grow, turn it into a real tourist destination. The Tennessee division started a project back when I was division commander. We came up with a project called Forrest Home. It's going to be an event pavilion with a little museum in the front and have it on site. We can have it for rentals and so forth. So since then, we've collected money. Concrete foundation's been poured. In this last year at the Tennessee Division reunion, we actually voted to go ahead and spend the money to build out the pavilion, which we're hoping will be ready by the time of the Forrest Homecoming coming up in July.
Ooh. Oh, that'd be awesome. I know I'm looking forward to that event. It'll be my first Forrest Homecoming. I had to miss last year due to a last-minute scheduling conflict, but you have a couple other great ideas that I'd like to talk about because, a lot of these questions are some questions that everybody has told us they want to hear from people running for the Army and councilman positions. But I want to dive more into your platform because I really do find it interesting. And forgive me if I get it wrong. I was trying to pull up your announcement because you did lay out some stuff specifically in there. Yeah. But something that you have in common that I would like to see too is you've talked about officer training and membership training.
Right. I'm in the SAR, and they have an online school that you have to go through your member login. It's called SAR University. Mm-hmm. I think if we could establish a SCV Academy or something like that, where at any time during the day, 24/7, a member could go in, log in, and have a class. It doesn't have to be 15 or 30 minutes. A class on being camp commander, camp adjutant. Eric Pravati's program he gives adjutant commander training is real good, but it should be at our discretion. It should be at will, not where we got to schedule it around the 2 or 3 times a month that it goes live. I think that would really help And what I'd like to do, I worked in manufacturing for 31 years, and we constantly trained. We constantly had surveys to see what's going on, see what we're doing wrong, see what we need to do better. And I think that one of the first things I want to do is send out a questionnaire survey to all the division commanders, have a SWOT survey on it. SWOT is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And everybody just list what's going on in their division and kind of share that information amongst everybody, and we can see how to better the whole organization, especially the Army. So that's one of the things I'd like to see done. A lot of the social media stuff that a lot of us older guys, we might have an Instagram account or TikTok, and look at some of the other videos people do. Some of the adjutant or some of the Army Tennessee training sessions should focus on stuff like that. A lot of times we'll have 4 or 5 speakers that maybe you might have heard before. Let's have some good information, but bring something to the table that people want to know about, and they're not going to get just fishing out there on their own about it.
Well, of course, obviously, I couldn't agree more. When I heard about your training plan, I was like, wow, he's wanting to do exactly what I'm hoping to see in Mississippi. We've started that process with a training seminar here in Mississippi. Me and GCB just got done. And of course, a big shout out to our Second Lieutenant Commander Boyd and Connor Bond. That was a phenomenal event. And I'd love to see it continue to improve. But as Carl says, camp and membership training is crucial to recruiting and retention. Of course, the Tennessee division excels at both. Again, I think it's a great idea, and something I never even thought about was that SWAT. Am I saying that right? Because we all know. Okay.
Yeah. And it's a pretty common. It's a pretty common thing for businesses. And like I said, in manufacturing, you could never let stuff start going wrong. You had to immediately find a solution to any problem you had. And I think sharing information among all the division commanders and getting those guys together and getting to know each other is something that I think is critical and important to making each division be able to do a little better.
I couldn't agree more. I think that is going to be some phenomenal assets. And of course, I believe you talked about this the last show. Of course, Tennessee Tuesday stole my thunder this week.
Sorry about that.
But something else, you said you want to focus on technology, recruiting, and advertising, which, of course, I think are big things, being in marketing. And it's swinging to that very heavily. That's in full force, online marketing now. So training for that would be great. But, something else I like is the CERT program.
Right. That's something that, it kind of makes it being an SCV fun.
Yes.
Everybody inside and outside of SCV loves cemeteries, and getting out there and be able to clean up the monuments and seeing how to preserve those. It's good for the organization, and it makes us look good out in the public too. When you go out and you see us out there scrubbing those old green monuments turn white after a couple of weeks or whatever. But Tom Meadows here in the Tennessee division, he passed away several years ago, and that was his passion, was the CERT program. And it'd be good if maybe we came up with a national SC CERT program. I know we've got the Monuments and Markers program, but have a national CERT program. Surely every division come up with a CERT program.
I couldn't agree more. My father brought the CERT program to Mississippi. He asked Mr. Tom actually to come down. Sadly, I wasn't there that cleaning day, but Dad always talks about how the Beauvoir Cemetery, which the Mississippi Division owns, was already cleaned, so they went to the city cemetery and cleaned. And that got us some very good PR with the Biloxi City Hall. And so I think it's a great, great program. I love it to death. And, of course, the using the CERT method and going out and cleaning cemeteries is actually what I do for fun and to calm down. I'm weird, but I really love hearing that idea. Is there any other things that you would like to talk about?
Maybe it's about some of the challenges that the SCV faces.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We still got a good couple of questions for you. Bless your heart. You,
All right.
you didn't get out of it. You just answered the third one. Of course, in your opinion, what are some of the most pressing challenges facing the Sons of Confederate Veterans today, and how do you plan to address them?
We're always going to have the external challenges. People that just do not like us, want their monuments taken down and all that. But I think one of the challenges that we have are some of the internal challenges of, we have camps that have members that disagree with each other, and we just need to try to work things out between camps. If there's a problem within the division, we need to sit down and talk about them, and don't let these things eat away at our organization. We got enough enemies on the outside without enemies on the inside, or not. I wouldn't say enemies, because there's nobody in this organization I consider enemy, but disagreements, end up derailing any kind of progress that the camps might be able to make. And at the end of the day, a lot of people say they're SCV first. Well, I'm SCV period. I'd drop out of every other, little civic organization that I'm in to try to further the cause of the SCV and help this organization grow. We're not in this alone as far as stagnant membership. If you look across the board at Lions Club, Exchange Club, the NRA, everybody is starting to have a decline in membership because it's just not something a lot of young people are into. And so we got to find our way to get people interested in the SCV and realize that it's not just us, it's society. And the way we do that is by making SCV an organization that's people enjoy going to camp meet. They want to learn about history. They want to get involved in the START program, have some good things for people to do once they become a member.
I agree. One of my favorite sayings is, "We got enough attacks going outside. Let's come together." So good to hear that, Commander. Of course, the next question would be, how do you plan to collaborate with the members of this organization, specifically the Army of Tennessee? Or no, I'm sorry, wrong question. How do you plan to collaborate with other members of the GEC to achieve the common goals of this organization?
I think that idea sharing, everybody don't just keep your cards close to your vest. Let everybody know what your plan is and support each other. Keeps from repeating some same mistakes that may have been made in the past. It helps not do things 2 or 3 times, the same thing 2 or 3 times. Just idea sharing and communication. It's all about communication.
I do agree. Of course, the next question would be, how would you engage with the broader membership to ensure their perspectives and concerns are considered in the decision-making process at the GEC?
The survey for the division commanders would be a starting point, the SWAT. I think that, every year when I was working in manufacturing, we'd have a company-wide survey. I think that's something that maybe we could look into sticking in the Confederate Veteran magazine, have a company-wide, have a SCV national survey have a few questions, what do you think we need to do better? And maybe stick a little donation envelope in there on it too. That's the way I've seen several organizations do, is they'll have a membership survey and they'll have the envelope to stick it back in. If somebody wants to donate a little something else to the cause, that'd be great too. But I think that would be a way that people could feel like they're part of the decision-making in the organization, is to have an annual membership survey.
Another phenomenal idea, if I do say so myself. I really like that. I think it would really help with the overall membership. And this is one that, of course, is highly requested because of how everything is in today's world. Regarding our public perception, how do you plan to navigate the potential controversies and criticisms that will come after the Sons of Confederate Veterans?
It all goes back to taking this technology that we have. Here we got SCV chat, we had Tennessee Tuesdays. If each division could have their own little version, it wouldn't have to be the hour-long version. They can have a little 30-minute video session that people within their area be able to, look and see what's going on. The Instagram, getting people familiar with Instagram, TikTok videos, and this starts sending out our message through those social media platforms and end up getting a fan base. That's where we're going to get people's attention. The days of newspaper and AM radio are just about over. We put a couple of ads in the local paper here. They look good. We got a little response off our website through it, but I don't think we got any members. And it's a lot about just visibility and getting some recognition and letting people know you're there. But as far as really getting people's attention, I think that the new social media stuff's going to be where it's at.
Well, obviously, with that being my employment, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I think social media and technology has been underutilized tool, so I'm glad to hear that you plan on bringing that as a focus to the new incoming GEC. And I think it is key to reshaping our public image. And of course, the last question would be, looking ahead to your term, what do you envision as key milestones and accomplishments for the Sons of Confederate Veterans during your tenure on the General Executive Council?
I think developing those online classes is the goal to shoot for. That would help so much with our members, because a lot of people they don't even have any comprehension of how the organization operates. They don't understand divisions, camps, armies. They just think it's a wide open organization, and getting that established and having these classes that when we could expand, not just officer training, little short history classes. A lot of all of Dr. Bradley's works are now posted on the Tennessee Division website. So the more information like that we get online, get on the SCV website, maybe the national website or the divisions put on their websites, the more that information is out there. We've got AI technology that mines information that's out there. So, they might mine some of that data that we've got, different programs. So that's a whole nother game, is the AI technology. And I ran some stuff through there and came up with some articles for my camp newsletter, just using AI, just asking it some basic stuff, and it came out pretty good, really.
Oh, yes, sir. It's a phenomenal tool. And I really hope to see that training, officer and membership training. I do believe that's something that the SAR does perfectly. I recently joined, and that was one of my favorite things about it. So I'd love to see the SCV be able to implement that. Well, Commander, that's all the questions. So now the floor is yours. Is there anything specifically you want to tell the membership or talk about for a minute or anything like that?
Well, April's a busy month, and the Tennessee Division reunion's coming up. I know April 25th, they've been at Stone Mountain here locally in the city of Fayetteville. We've got our annual Confederate History Month program at the Lincoln County Courthouse. If I get elected, there might be somebody come in and blow everybody out of the saddle, so to speak. But I just hope that y'all elect me when we get up there in Kentucky, and I'll try to do the best I can to help promote this organization, and let's all work together to try to make this organization grow.
Well, Commander, I couldn't agree more. Kentucky has entered the chat. There is about maybe 4 minutes left in the show, Kentucky. So I always like giving Kentucky a little grief, but they're going to pay me back more than likely at the national reunion. So that kind of scares me. But Commander, it has been great to have you on. I've enjoyed talking about your platform and asking you these questions. You've given us some great answers, and with all your experience in the SCV and all the ideas and new ideas you're bringing to the table, I hope to see it happen, and I do wish you good luck in your campaign, sir, for Army of Tennessee Commander. And I guess real quick, if there's anything anybody wants to ask specifically, I do know we have a question on YouTube. Would you like to answer that question, sir? It's about the
Sure, go ahead.
So Glover on YouTube asked, how can you motivate your camps to take more initiative in cleaning and maintaining the graves and monuments throughout the AOT?
I think explaining the CERT program and getting everybody involved in the monument cleaning. Maybe during the if we get this online classes going, we could have part of the CERT training online where people could just go on there and see how to what the process is. I know that there's a new chemical that's being used. The D2 was used for a long time, and now they've got a new one called Endurance. It's supposed to be just as good, and I think it's about a third the price. So just getting people trained on it. I think everybody likes to go through cemeteries and see where their heroes are buried. Let's train them on how to get those stones cleaned up.
I agree. I think the CERT program will be a great program at the national level. All right. Anybody else? This is last call, and we'll be signing off for the evening.
You don't have that picture of me when I was your age, do you?
I thought about it. I heavily thought about it because Commander Patterson sent me a wonderful picture of himself when he was about my age, working at the farm, and that's something that me and him share. And I was like, well, it's a bit far away for your picture tonight, or I would have used it and just hope people would have been like, huh? But I will say you had good hair in that. I'll give you a compliment.
I had good hair.
Well, the way my hair's thinning, me and you gonna be in the same club.
Maybe I'll post that picture later on so everybody see where I came from.
You have to. It's great. I'm going to float the idea if the GEC will ever let me address them again, and this will probably be the last time the GEC lets me address them. I want to make it an order that you have to go retake and recreate that picture outside Elm Springs. I want that in my life so bad.
I cannot take my shirt off ever again like that in public.
Trust me, I am not in shape. I would scare everybody out of that museum. They would never be coming back if I did it. So at least you had that. I never had that option. I was either underweight or overweight. I never had an in-between section.
Yeah.
I jumped. But I want to thank you, Commander, for coming on. It has been a great time, and I've loved hearing your ideas and hope to see them implemented. And again, good luck, sir. Is there anything you want to tell the membership before we sign off this evening?
Just y'all have a great Confederate History Month coming up this next month, and y'all be safe.
Well, thank you, Commander. Of course, we have had on Army Tennessee past Tennessee Division Commander James Patterson on to talk about his platform for Army of Tennessee Commander. It's been a great time. We hope that y'all have had a great time too. Remember to share this episode out, especially my Army of Tennessee guys. I really want you guys to share this all around the Army, divisions, camps, and even if you're not in the AOT, there were some great ideas discussed tonight. This is all about sharing ideas and getting to learn the person. I think either way, we all have some great ideas to think about after tonight. Make sure, again, to share this episode and tune in Monday for your weekly episode of SCV Chat at 7 p.m. Confederate Standard Time. And remember, I think this is the last Monday, so we will have our executive director, Adam Southern, on to talk about any news, updates, and events coming out of the SCV headquarters of the National Confederate Museum at Elm Springs. Of course, make sure to send your pictures, short videos, and write-ups to scvyouthoutreach@gmail.com, and you'll be featured on the upcoming episode of Look Around the Confederation. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. It has been a blast. I want to thank our Patreon members scrolling down below. And until next time, everybody, stay Southern. Good night, everybody.